Hello, great people. Welcome back to Global Happenings. Today, fairly recently, something happened that got Nigerians talking, especially those in the legal profession, when the Lagos State play host to Kekerekun, the sitting CJN, and celebrating her. Most people believe that was absolutely wrong, considering the fact that the Lagos State governor is a litigant before a court, and as such, it is absolutely wrong for the CGN to be seen parading itself or herself with the political exposed person like the governor. So many people talked about it, but interestingly, the video about to watch is from Mike Ezehome during when he was speaking at the 2024 conference of the National Association of Judicial Correspondents held in Abuja, and he said things related to that. He gave his position and it sounded as a strong warning. He took out time to talk about some of the things that have created imbalance in the judiciary and which has exposed them to so many things that are going to currently in the hands of Nigerians. Let me allow you watch the video. We'll be back to talk more on this with my colleague.
I thank God that I practiced law for 43 years. No judge in the country, serving or retired, even those dead, can say I've ever met them in chambers to help me in a matter. Nor have I ever written a personal petition against the judge. Rather, when my clients write petitions, I disown them and I get out of the case because I do not want anything to soil my name. If you are dissatisfied with a judgment, for God's sake, there are appellate procedures. Appeal the judgment. That is why under section 6 of the Constitution, you have all the superior courts listed therein. High Court, Federal High Court, Court of Appeal, Supreme Court. If one head was bad at the High Court or Federal High Court, then go to 3 better heads at the Court of Appeal. And if it's a ponderous constitutional matter, 5 better heads. If those 3 better heads or 5 better heads are bad and you are dissatisfied, then go to 5 best heads at the apex court. And when it's a constitutional court, 7 best heads. If you are still dissatisfied, then go to your church or mosque and kneel down and pray to God so that you can have salvation in the hereafter. Not writing petitions to squirrelize names of judges who also have wives and husbands, they have children, they have relations, for God's sake. One other area I want to quickly touch as I go to sit down, Mr. Attorney General, sir. I thank you, sir. I'm my Chief Judge, sir, and my CJN, sir. Is the practice where elevated judges, God bless them, I always pray for their elevation, begin to have big parties thrown for them, inviting politically exposed persons to come and enjoy with them. Some of the people may have appeared before them. I've seen some parties where I know that some people, politically exposed people who attended the parties in their states, had matters before such judges. And one of them whispered to me and said, can you see that man decided a case for the state of that politically exposed person? And I didn't know. It is not good for our image. By all means, celebrate. We're not saying you should not celebrate. It's better to celebrate with your colleagues, lawyers, and judges like you. If the PEP people want to help, they can help quietly on their ground. Maybe words of encouragement, maybe buy you some books. Even if he has to give you money, it is not bribe because he's just gifting you for exiting the lower court and going to a higher one. But not to be seen taking pictures publicly with such people, I don't think it is good. Then a final word. Courts, I beg of you, in the name of God, I genuflect. And watch me, my Lord, sir, I'm actually genuflecting. Allow lawyers to argue their cases. Don't shut them out and impose humongous costs because they have refused to withdraw their cases and they have insisted on arguing such cases. It is their right. I lost 1 year in the University of Ife to read law. I lost 1 year because I was reading English. And one of the reasons was the beauty of law. When I saw lawyers arguing in courts of law, rules of court have already dealt enough with us by saying you should just make written address and written briefs, not more than so number of pages. I agree with such rules to facilitate justice. And you now go to court, they just say, adopt. You say, my lord, I just want to emphasize. You say, no, everything you have written is on paper, adopt. Whereas the judge is not a machine, he's not a robot. He needs to be helped. And we lawyers are the ministers in the temple of justice, wherein is the prime minister. Allow a lawyer to draw your attention to salient points that he wants you to see, to address your learned mind to. You may limit him and say, don't take more than 2 or 3 minutes. Don't take more than 5 minutes. But don't just say adopt and go. That is also not good for the legal profession. Please, sirs, help me relay the word. Tell them not to award costs against lawyers in their person. You can award costs against the parties. How do you award costs against a lawyer for refusing to withdraw a case that he has filed after thorough research, which he believes to be right? It is not a good practice at all. And the judiciary itself can help itself from itself by delivering judgments, not just judgments according to law, but judgments according to justice. Judgments that deliver justice. Not judgment based on technicalities. Could the Supreme Court lampooned in the case of Bello, an Attorney General for your state, 1986 One Nigeria Weekly Law Report. Look at the merits of a case. What is the complaint? Don't say, oh, because you did not file this thing in time, then you shut him out. How has that solved the problem? How? I've not seen the new rules, but I was alarmed by some of the few points I saw in the new rules. I want to believe it cannot be true. But also the new Federal High Court rules that there will be no amendment allowed at a certain stage after a matter, and no amendment can be allowed. I do not know, I've not seen the rules, but I just want to believe that it's not true. Because to say no amendment is to say that we can no longer make mistakes as mortals. And such a rule will be overriding or overruling all Supreme Court decisions to the effect that amendments can be carried out anytime before judgment. I wish the judiciary good luck. I wish the legal profession good luck, because without the legal profession, without the judiciary, there can be no country. And I still want to make this point finally, that the judiciary, in spite of all the problems we are talking about, still remains the best arm of the 3 arms of government. The judiciary, the executive, and the legislature.
All right, that is coming from Mike Ozomekhe, and it's hitting hard on the judges, especially as it has to do with different rulings in court. But interestingly, where I'm more concerned is the fact that you're seeing a very romantic relationship between the judiciary and politically exposed people. And he says it's rather wrong, because the society feels that by virtue of judicial code of conduct, that is not expected to be, or at least that shouldn't be exposed to the public. What's your standpoint on that before we move forward?
I really thank God that he was able to address that matter. Sometimes it's best that somebody from their arm look them in the face and tell them the truth. Sometimes it could be a case of Nigerians overreact, and maybe we are stripping them of their immunity, or we are always social media warriors, as they call some Nigerians that take to their social media platform to talk about their displeasure. But I feel that this is good coming at this time of the life of the judiciary, where the likes of the late Pharaoh team have spoken a lot concerning the level of corruption, which didn't sit down well with them. But if you watch him, he's being very careful and very diplomatic, because he's actually a serving lawyer and senior advocate of Nigeria at that. But he has, at one point or the other, some of his colleagues at one point or the other have received that technical knockout. I'll use the word technical knockout in the sense that they know that it's a form of technicality, and they don't want you to drive in. So they use that technical aspect. And if you insist on still pushing without arguing, they don't even give you room to argue, which is what he's saying now. At the end of the day, they make you pay. And even though you know that you have all the right evidence to prove your case, they just use on the grounds of technicality. And because the fact that they've been, having some sort of unnecessary romance with the politically exposed persons, Nigerians just believe that, justice is no longer for the poor. It's now for those who can procure it, and doesn't speak well, which means that Nigeria is technically losing hope, but there's something he said that caught my attention, which I beg to differ on that, where he said that even if the politically exposed person decides to gift them with money, that's really not bribe, really, it's just, trying to tell them, well done for a job, well done. Don't take.
Of course.
Don't even take, because look, a man's gift make it away for him.
Exactly. There's how it can kind of affect your mentality.
Yeah, this guy is a nice guy.
Yeah.
I should. This is just my own way of not saying, repaying back that little favor. That little favor he caused little, but it's a big favor for me because I don't have access to such funds or such cash. And when this case comes to your table, you find yourself
struggling.
Not just only struggling. They said that the justice system is blind.
Yeah.
It cannot see the faces of those who bring the cases, but justice is what it sees.
Yeah.
But at this point in time, now you have removed your blinds. Now you can see, because right now your mind is, how do I do such a way that it's a win for this nice guy who
exactly.
Gave me. Others are there. They did not know how I need to pay school fees. They never knew I needed to buy a new car, even to get a house. These are the things that's making Nigerians to scream and shout. And he's saying, look, this is, so I still believe that issue of even gifting money is not bribe. Brother, sir, with due respect to, let me genuflate the way you are genuflating too, sir. It is bribe. Because you're not even supposed to have association by right. These guys are supposed to go two parallel lines. They should never meet. Not that they are quarreling, no. These ones are meant to uphold the law. These ones are meant to, also be morally upright. The other ones there are actually meant to, anyhow they can bend the law to suit their grade. They will do it. And there's something they said that, which unfortunately Nigerians have decided to use that as both their first or possibly even their final result, is where they don't get justice, they just go straight to God. And that's where you see pastors and imams having a swell time, where they just know that they will not get justice. Some of them even go as far as going to Ifa. Since they have refused to give me justice, they now begin to, call on the spiritual.
That's not how it should be,
But it shouldn't be. It shouldn't. That's not how it should be. But when the system has failed, your judicial justice system have not given you the required justice you feel you deserve, then you leave it to the Creator. For some persons, they don't believe in the Creator that much because they believe the Creator is all merciful. They go to Ifa, they go to Amadion, Ogun, Shongo, and they demand their justice, and they believe in the realm of the spirit. They don't show mercy. And it should really, in all sincerity, it shouldn't, because some of us love to travel abroad where these things work. When we come to Nigeria, we pay deaf ears and we will put blind eyes to some of these things that are staring us in the face, which are very pertinent.
All right, thank you so much for that exhaustive details you've given. That's where we'd like to leave it. Let's make that comment.